And lastly, the third thing that you should do is stay invested. And I've done we've mentioned this tons of times, I feel like, in webinars and in articles that we've written on our website and things like that, because it's so important. And I think it's such a huge temptation for investors to try to time the market. And by time the market, I mean, they try to get out and avoid being in the market when it's going down, and get into the market while it's going up, so that they're only in for the good times and they miss the bad times. Well, like we talked about before, nobody can forecast what's going to happen in the market in the short term accurately and consistently. And so nobody can do that efficiently. And second off, it never turns out well. And this is a different study than the ones that I've shown in the past, but it just reiterates the exact same thing, that you're better off staying invested through the ups and downs of the market than trying to play it and get in and out to miss out on
what happens, if I can interject for a second, Jesse, what happens with people that try to time the market is the market starts going down and they think, oh, it's going to go down a bunch more and I'm going to get out. And then their plan is they're going to get out, sell here. And when the market goes down and reaches its bottom, they're going to buy and they're going to take advantage of the rise back up. But my experience and research has shown that what people almost inevitably do that try to time the market is they get out here. And by the time they're comfortable enough to get back in the market, it's gone down, gone back up to where they got out, and then it's risen more, and they'd have been better off if they just stayed in the market. So go ahead.
So this chart proves that. So this is a hypothetical growth of $10,000 just invested in the S&P 500 index starting in 1980. So that's a pretty long time frame and it goes to the middle of 2022. And so someone who had been invested and just stayed invested and wrote out all the things that happened between 1980 and now. And you can think right off the top of my head, there was 3 big market crashes. There's one in the 80s. There was the dot-com bubble in the early 2000s. And then there was 2007 through 2008, right? And that's a time when a lot of people freaked out and wanted to get out of the market. But this person just stayed invested through that entire time. And their $10,000 would have turned into $1,060.
No, $1,060,000. $1 million.
Sorry.
But 10,000 growth at $1 million is a big deal.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. Okay, so if they would have only missed 5 days,
the 5 best days,
42-year period, the 5 best days, their return that they would have ended up with would only be $655,981. Now, 5 days doesn't seem like a lot. And what's tricky is that the best days in the market often live right next door to the very worst days of the market. So you can have one of the worst days in the market, and literally the next day could be one of the best days in like 20 years in the market. They often are right next to each other because there's a lot of volatility during those times. And so if you are out of the market at that time where you hit one of the 5 best days of that entire time period, it makes a huge difference on your return. And the more good days that these people miss in the market, the more their return goes down. So it makes a huge difference to just be patient, stay invested, know that the market trends up over time, and the longer that you stay invested, the better chance you have at getting a good return.